Talk about sharp-dressed man, Steven. You said it going into that. Dylan with the tux. Make sure you're looking at the YouTube. Man is looking good. And Bryce Young off the board, which means now the Houston Texans are on the clock, and David Klaben is going to be the one here now picking for them. And we saw this past week, odds are starting to go up where Will Levis is potentially the favorite at number 2. David, is that where you're going here?
Absolutely not. With the second overall pick in the loss of down draft, I am taking Will Anderson Jr. for the Texans.
Oh,
and
I thought you were going to say Levis for a second.
No, Will Levis. You know, they might take him in real life, but in my fantasy world, the best defensive edge in the draft is the best way to go. The blueprint's out there. Getting an edge, building out your roster before you get your quarterback is the fastest way through the rebuild. I think Anderson's probably as productive as a defensive lineman can get in a 3-year career. I think he put up over 200 pressures in 3 years. He's explosive. I think he's 6'5", 250 pounds. He's about all you can ask for in an edge rusher.
All right, so I have to ask the question, Jalen Carter. So Will Anderson might be the most sure thing in this draft, but the belief is among NFL scouts, the highest upside defensively is Jalen Carter. Were you tempted to take a gamble on him here, or given his history, you just thought it would be safer to go Will Anderson?
I'd have taken Jalen Carter if we're talking about a different team in this position. When you're as bad as the Texans are, you really can't risk the history of Jalen Carter, the off the field stuff. I think Jalen Carter is gonna be a fantastic NFL player. He might go right off the board next. We'll see, but I think he's a phenomenal player. If I'm the Texans, I need sure things with my draft picks, and I can't. You just can't throw the fog of an off-field problem in there.
It's fair.
So I'll ask the other obvious question: why not C.J. Stroud here and just going for the edge rusher? It feels like Young, Stroud have been the 1-2 basically since last draft.
I don't disagree with that. That Stroud might be a better pick for a QB needy team like the Texans, but the worst thing you can do. This isn't a QB draft where I'm getting Andrew Luck or RG3 1-2 back to back. I'm getting sure things at quarterback, right? I'm getting what I think will be a solid quarterback in the NFL, maybe even proves me wrong as an elite quarterback, right? But that's a lot of risk for a team. Again, for a team like the Texans, the worst thing you do is throw a quarterback like that behind little to no offensive line, little to no weapons, little to no defense, and a totally new head coach. I have a hard time picking a quarterback that isn't like an Andrew Luck style prospect if the rest of your team is that bad. Build out your draft, build out your team without getting players that are going to significantly affect your win column this coming year, and then come back next year with a high pick, draft your quarterback if you did well in this draft, and let's go from there. It's been a blueprint. We've watched 2, 3, 4 teams do it now where you build out your team and then go get your quarterback like in the last year of you being just a very bad team.
And Davis Mills is perfectly, like, he's a Band-Aid quarterback until they can get a good quarterback in the future. So I actually don't hate that pick. We'll see if it happens. Obviously, Vegas boards are up in the air right now on Houston.